Faith is everything. Without faith, you can't really dream. You can't be inspired. You can't be motivated. It is the thriving fuel, I would say, that is connected to the inner understanding or the inner knowing of something that is not yet tangible, but you know it's real and you know exists. So it's really just that understanding, which is ultimately connected to intuition as well, feeling, what resonates, what doesn't resonate, and just going with it, despite of what you are challenged with, or despite of what it appears to be. Faith is at the root, I would say, of accomplishing and achieving and realizing and manifesting what many would call the impossible, because all it's possible. It is now proven through science that everything is possible. Anything is reachable. And all we have to do is put our entire mind with our faith and our actions to achieve anything. Many have done so before us, and many will continue to align their intuition and their belief in something not yet seen, but knowing that it's there and that is soon going to manifest itself. That's what faith is. Well, it's all about believing in the unseen as well, knowing that there is a very vast cosmos comprised of multiple universes, trillions of galaxies, endless worlds. It's just a matter of understanding that whatever it is that is igniting, whatever it is that is orchestrating the existences of endless worlds, endless galaxies, and perhaps even endless universe, is some form of intelligence that is way beyond our comprehension. So, of course, it is intimately and intricately connected to faith, is understanding that we are more than just the apparent. So that's what that means to me. Well, there used to be a time when spirituality and science were two sides of the same coin. This was a time immemorial to many, but in the ancient collective memory stored within our genetics, they were known as the Golden Ages. And faith plays everything in the realization that there are other dimensions, multiple universes, and it's also the understanding that despite the diversity and despite the concept of infinite intelligence spreading itself or disintegrating itself through the many in order to explore more of itself, we see that the concept of God, the concept of faith, is somehow intricately connected with the expanding omniverse, which comprises all the living universes that make up a greater body known as the omniverse. And the omniverse is really everything. Nothing exists outside of the omniverse. It is the different refractions, the different divisions of the one singular light source that exists at the center of all there is. So if you consider that to be God, the ultimate prime creator source of all existence, then of course there is some sort of connection between that, the multiverse, the omniverse, and the concept of faith. Well, the more I researched the cutting-edge science regarding this field of energy that is everywhere at once, that in fact all other fundamental forces reduced into, the more I came to understand what they called unified field, the more I began to realize that we are just cells in a greater organism known as the universe, and that the universe is also a conscious living entity. And that's when I started realizing that everything is alive in consciousness. Elements, planets, solar systems, galaxies, nebulas, universes, all becoming different, greater levels of consciousness beyond our scope of understanding, and how everything is just interconnected in life. It's all one big body. So that's why what happens on one side of the cosmos affects the other side of the cosmos, because ultimately it's the same body. And that's when I came to understand that it is a sacred interconnection of everything operating on different realities, through different expressions, on different levels, and in its many forms, but it's all part of one singular consciousness, ultimately reducing at its most fundamentalist level. I guess the more intuitive you are, the more you are able to feel things beyond the physical, beyond what presents, the more faith you have in the unseen, in something that is guiding everything with precise precision. And so the best thing to do is to build your intuition through spiritual practices. So when you do build that internal guidance systems, or you activate it and you begin to connect with your spirit, which is connected to the unified force, you'll be able to have absolute faith in anything that you do, because ultimately you are being guided by a future version of yourself that is also connected to the unified force. So spiritual practices, meditation help in the establishment and perseverance of a firm faith that can never be unwavered. Well, most people think in terms of space when it comes to the vastness of cosmos, but you have to understand that there are other dimensional levels of the universe that are actually sharing the same space and the same time as other universes of lower density or higher density. So in a way, it's just really one unified light that is vibrating on different levels of existence that distinguishes and gives us the diversity of dimensions, realms, planes, whatever you want to call it. It's all one singular energy. And when you come to understand how that energy field that is represented by the torsion field of all existing things, including ourselves, is the infinite prime creator, eternal source that is always constantly generating, has no beginning or end, and will forever exist. As long as there is light, there will always be matter, because all matter is just light vibrating at its slowest frequency. But then it comes to the point where the matter, through the raising of the frequency, converts back into pure light and everything in between. So it's all one and the same. It's having that inner knowing of things, and of course having faith that, you know, the entire omniverse is also existing within ourselves. Each and every single one of you guys carries the full properties, like in a hologram. You know, each piece carries the whole. So in that regard, according to the holographic concept model of reality, you and I are all different universes, but yet we're all one and the same. Different expressions of the one singular light. They are intricately connected to the vastness of everything, and that they are no different than the macrocosm. That they are an expression of the one. And in knowing so, they can come to the realization that they are part of an eternal, infinite body that has no beginning or end. And so it's just a simple reminder that, you know, you are one. You are a fractal of source. And every single person out here is a fractal of that one singular consciousness. So never forget that you are God in the flesh, and that you are no different than the universe. And in so doing, you will live according to faith. You will live in the understanding that everything you ever desire or hope for is part of your own blueprint, and that it will become realized and manifested. So just never lose faith, because your inner desire, your ideal end of whatever it is that you want to accomplish, is already a reality that exists somewhere in the universe. All you have to do is align with that, and you become what's already in existence.